Thank you, Papa, for being here.
Thank you.
All right. And 5 seconds for smiling and cut.
That was cute! Yes! Oh, goodness. Girl, I need some more water. This is ridiculous.
Hello, everybody. How you guys doing?
Hey there.
Good?
Pretty good.
Are you guys good?
I'll be a lot better once this water kicks. I mean, once I get thirsty. Yeah, that one.
You gave us water last time. I was surprised by that.
It's always been water. I don't know what you're talking about, but this water is a very special water. It's very unique. It's been enhanced. It's from the good state of Georgia, where peaches are from.
What is that?
You'll find a hint of a juicy peach.
Is that what that is? Okay.
Yes, that's what it was. It is.
Okay. I think I'm going to end up drunk by the end of this. But...
How do you get drunk off of water, girl?
Well, I mean, you get drunk on life.
Oh, yes. Let's get inebriated on life.
Anyway, today we're discussing, our episode is relationships, but particularly relationships from a long distance and online dating. And to do that, I wanted the fandom, ChubThots followers to be introduced to my papa, my boyfriend.
And yes, he's real. There he is.
He is real. He's not a ghost. That's his name. Hello, Mario. How are you?
Hello. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Are you nervous to be on the show?
A little bit. A little bit.
Okay, we'll take
Some
care
water.
of
You'll
it.
be all right.
This living water, though.
Right, exactly.
Well,
Yes,
before we
yes.
start, I did want to tell everybody for Christmas, Janito got me a gift. And I'll kind of stand up to show you. It says, "Best Sister Ever." Can you guys see that? Everybody see that?
Absolutely. It's cute too, girl.
Well,
It's
in
nice.
addition to that, she got my man a shirt.
I sure did. I'm
So
so
what does
nice.
yours say, Papa? Can you stand up? It says brother-in-law. Noun. Cool guy. Someone who we laughed. What? Someone who we laughed at because he married my sister and chose to become a part of our crazy family. How true is that?
Very true.
How did you choose this crazy family anyway?
Badass though. I'm sorry.
Really?
I couldn't help it. The Lord told me to say it, girl.
So in the spirit of online dating, we started in January of 2017.
So let's face this a little bit. When did you meet and how did you meet?
We officially met on. Can you say the?
Yes, go ahead.
We officially
Oh, it's
met-
alright. We free advertising here. Go ahead.
Okay. We officially met on Bigger City.
Okay.
And we kind of had a history of observing each other's profiles on different sites.
He kept looking at my profile.
Hashtag they were stalking each
And
other.
you were looking at my profile.
Right.
I would just
each
look
other.
right back,
Emphasis.
And yeah, when the moment was right, when I saw that there was some additional information added to your Bigger City profile, it helped eliminate some of the questions that I had, and I saw more of my non-negotiables listed there, and I started the pursuit.
That pursuit though. That's a
And
very
I'll
good word,
never
too.
forget how he actually, his first line ever, or he said, he first said hi, and I said hello,
Okay.
naturally.
Right, of course.
And he said, well, I guess I'm going to have to stop admiring from afar. And from there we started talking. So that admiration from afar stopped in that moment. And that was very sweet of me. Because I knew he was eyeing me. But it only took you like 4 months or something to say hi.
Well, it took you 4 months to add additional content.
I can't. I was going through some mess, so. But anyway, so a lot of people think that long distance relationships don't work. And with good reason.
So not only did you guys meet online and dated online, but once you went official, your official status, you're not living in the same place. So for all of us watching, they
Right.
don't live in the same city.
So he was living in Albuquerque, and I'm living in Dallas. And so I came to Dallas in pursuit of meeting new people, finding someone. How would I have thought? I would have never thought that I would meet somebody from Albuquerque.
Which he just fled.
Right.
Like 2 years prior.
Right.
Life has a wonderful way of just smacking you in the face sometimes.
Yeah, you never really know where you're gonna find that person.
So talk to us about your guys' individual perceptions of online dating, right? Because you guys went through a series of months of talking to each other, and there was an obvious progression, right? It started on an app, and then progressed to probably exchanging phone numbers, and then from that point on. So talk to us about what it was like individually for you going through the process of dating someone you hadn't physically met yet. You can start first.
Yeah, about how was it?
I mean, for me, it almost felt effortless. It almost felt effortless. It felt very natural, very organic. For me, it was the amount of time being spent with each other, and we had to get creative in how we spent time, and share some of the things that we like to do. We would have online dates, and we still do to this day, where we watch episodes of our favorite series.
Oh, that's cute.
We
TV
watch them
shows,
in perfect
movies.
synchronization, so we'll even count down like 1, 2, play. Because we want to be able to see the same show at the same time and have the same reaction.
So kind of mimicking if you were physically in the same spot.
Right.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. That's cute. That's real cute.
I always said time was important for me. So I told him, if we can't spend time physically also, but spend time with each other, it's probably not going to work. We're so long distance. We're not going to be in a relationship if we're not going to have the time to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a very valid point, is that a lot of people kind of diminish online dating because for them it's not real because it's not physical. But I mean, if you see someone that you are interested in, it would be the same way if they live down the block from you. Like you're not gonna just rely solely on the physical relationship, the physical aspects of the relationship. There has to be time spent, talking to each other and getting to know one another. So I mean, just for you guys, it happened to happen through phone or computer screen. But for a lot of us, it's the same process that we employ when getting to know someone. So Chris, how was the online dating aspect for you?
Well, so the online dating aspect for me was, it was kind of weird. Like I said, I was in a new city. I was trying to meet somebody, and I wasn't trying to do the online dating. I had 2 prior online experiences, and they were horrible. And it was just, the first guy, he lied to me about everything that he represented. He misrepresented himself, what he was doing, his job, his name, his age. I mean, everything.
Girl, yes.
So I almost felt catfished, but
you were.
But my last relationship, it was more real. I felt.
Okay.
But it was one-sided. I had to go visit him. I had to take the initiative. I had to be there. I had to make the sacrifice. And it got to a point where I was just like, I can't do it anymore. I'm going to need you to meet me halfway. And he did it. Okay. And so I had to end things at that point.
So with Kimario, what you would say were the stark differences between the two examples that I previously said?
With Kimario, like he said, it was effortless. It felt very natural. I felt very safe with him. And I laid out the conditions of our relationship right at the beginning. I was like, if you can't come see me first, if you don't have time or the means or the sources, then we shouldn't start anything. Because it's not going to work. This is what I need. I need to see you. I need to hang out with you. I need to be with you. And I need to nurture that relationship. And he said that he could. So okay, we went with it. And there was resistance. It didn't happen overnight. At the time, I was talking to 2 other guys when I started talking to him. But one was from out of the country, and the other one we disagreed on love, and he was more polyamorous, we'll say, and I was more monogamous mindset. So
Okay.
so we those were the only two real options that I had that I would consider. And when Kimario came about, I was like, well, I'm not really feeling anybody. But the thing about Kimario is that he gave me that space and that time. So when we started talking about our profiles, about philosophy, about religion, with no expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him, look, I'm not looking to jump in a romantic setting. I categorize guys or people or our interactions in 3 different categories, and we've talked about this on previous episodes. But the sexual interactions, the friendship or friendly interactions, and the romantic one. And so I told Mario, I want a friend, because I had just finished talking to my mom about what it would take to be in a relationship, a long-term relationship like she has. And she told me that you have to find a best friend that you fall in love with. I was like, a lot of people shy away from falling in love with their best friend.
Right.
So I said, look, this is where I'm at right now, and I'm not really looking for anything. I think we should focus on our friendship and see if we're good friends. If we're not good friends, we probably won't be able to. We may have good sex for one night or a few nights, but we won't be able to be romantic for a long time. Why do I think that works? It's because too many people focus on the sex aspect and the romantic aspects, but never the friendship aspect. They always say, we'll figure it out later.
Right.
The problem is you're not going to have sex every day. Although some people might say that they would, but it's not realistic.
That's an individual thing.
Trust me, when you get to a certain age, are you okay?
It's wonderful water, bro. It's beautiful water. But yes, you were saying some people get to a certain age.
Well, it's not just age. If you're busy doing something, if you're tired, if there's always something that's happening. If you're having guests over, if you have, some people have kids, some people have other things that they need to do, and sex is not going to be there all the time.
Right.
At least for my case.
Thank you.
Right. Maybe people can make time to have sex.
Priorities are real, bro.
Right. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And the romance is not going to be there all the time either. Sometimes you're gonna be tired and you want to just relax, watch a movie. You don't have to be lovey-dovey 24/7.
I mean, okay.
And that's. Or you expect your relationship?
No. I'm just being funny for that. I mean, I actually agree with you that in relationships it's difficult to keep and maintain a high level of sexual encounters and romantic ones, because life happens. You get busy, especially if you're both working and you're both having your individual careers and you each have individual families, so you have to spend time and friends and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely agree. I just would hope. Would hope that, that it's something that when you find someone that's compatible with the same frequencies that you will like, you'll be able to express that.
But frequencies change, so we'll probably
hopefully that will happen until I'm 80, so we're good.
But we'll debate that on another show.
Yes, absolutely.
We fundamentally disagree on that.
She ain't never lied about that.
But what I'm saying is that it worked for me because we focused on our friendship, and to build on that, we could build romance and sex. And all 3 of those working simultaneously will allow you to have that seamless.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was effortless. If one day we're horny and we want to...
That's right.
I was going to say a battle.
You were? Yeah.
I have to watch out for that. Sorry, Mom. If one day you get horny and you want to have sex, you do it, and if you want to be romantic, there's time for that. Let's go on a date. Let's be cutesy. Let's be cheesy. Let's talk about our emotions. That's all really nice. But a lot of times you're not going to have those students. So falling on your friendship and having a solid foundation, a friendship where you can genuinely be yourself. You know, we just had an episode about friendship. What does friendship mean? It means when you can freely be yourself and you're accepted for that.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like this is the first time with Kimario, the first time that I have dated a guy, been in a relationship with a guy, that I can be truly myself. And not only, and I would doubt it at the beginning, I doubted it, but he taught me that not only does he accept it and he tolerates it, but he gets off.
Yes.
And that's very true. I think one of the things that made us successful is that we were both in agreement as far as our love philosophy. 100%. You know, it wasn't a matter of, oh, okay, well, I can kind of compensate or I can kind of, you know, forgive that. We believe 100% in what we were doing before actually pursuing anything further.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing to be able to articulate to everyone. It's just that your relationship, although for all intent and purposes, for a lot of people who are looking outside looking in, you know, you started offline or online, you started with chatting and stuff like that, and that's grown, and now that you're in an actual official relationship, and not only is it official, it's monogamous. So a lot of people would question that, like, how are you making a monogamous relationship work from a distance? And it's because both of you are amicably in agreement to what your love expression should be, and that relationship structure is the same. And a lot of us, and I'll include myself in that because for me personally, I'm single. I've gone through the online dating route, and my very first positive experience lasted for almost 4.5 years due to the fact that we were friends first. And our friendship grew as our relationship grew. And once we discovered that we wanted to include a romantic part of it, then it was a natural progression. So that effortlessness that you guys were talking about is something that I felt as well when that experience happened for me. So what would you say now? You're in an official relationship. You have been together for how long now? Officially.
Well, March is when we...
So we on that year though, bro. Yes. Okay. So what would you say, and what would you offer to people who are in similar relationships as you at a distance? What do you say are some of the difficulties that you come across?
Well, I'll just say that time is an important piece, because a lot of people will tell me, well, how do you know he's being faithful? I really don't. I don't know. But I feel good that we spend so much time together. So if he was messing around with somebody else, I think he deserves it. Because I require...
You earned it!
You earned it because I need a lot of time.
And it's such a... I mean,
So if you can
said
fit
that.
it, if you can successfully fit another hole...
I mean, do you understand? I mean, look, honestly, let's dive into this 2.5, bro, and let's get super hood at the moment. If you were the man that makes you feel sustained with the time that he offers you, and if you a needy hoe, I'm talking to all of us. If you a needy hoe and you getting all the time you need, if you still have effort, energy, and possibility to go with someone else, you earned it, boo. Have fun, shit. Like I can't. Like that is such an amazing outlook on that. Because a lot of people think that because a long distance relationship gives room and opportunity for others, you have to have trust to go into that. You can't go into that expecting that this person that you're with, you're not going to be able to implicitly trust them. You have to have that. Otherwise, your relationship is not going to work. But like you said, if he gave me everything I need, and he got time and energy for somebody else, shoot. Get it. Get all of it. Take pictures if you can and send them to me, shit. Like
but to be honest, if he
right. I mean, we're being cute. But
I would cut someone, but no.
You wouldn't cut someone. You cut something.
Something, yeah.
Girl.
But I think that the time that he spends with me, and I've never really caught him in a lie. I've never felt like he's lying to me. Everything's been consistent. I mean, we dated and talked for a year and 2 months prior to calling it an official relationship. So if I can give any advice, is is to those people out there is spend a lot of time with them and get to know them before you commit. Take all the time you want. And if they're going to be there, they're going to be there. If they like you, they're going to be there.
Absolutely.
And so not being afraid, I think the problem is people rush into titling and moving in and falling in love because they're afraid to lose out. But I was not afraid of losing out on Kimario. I said, if he doesn't want to go on this journey with me, then somebody will. And that's not him.
Right.
And I was okay with that. But I'm glad that he hopped on, and we both made it. We're both on this journey still, and we'll continue until death do us part. Ooh! Did I just say that?
Oh,
or until, things don't work out. No, but definitely time. I always encourage people who are starting to get to know each other and starting, you have all these sexual tensions and you have butterflies and their every breath just makes you want to come. I mean,
right? No, you got it. You got it.
It's get to know them. Get to know them before you launch yourself into something that's more serious. A lot of people insisted actually, when are we going to call it official?
Oh yeah,
and I said, well, in time, we're dating, we're getting to know each other, we're having fun with that.
And I was on a time table, like at 3 months, at 6 months, at 9 months, at 12 months. I'm like,
it wasn't until that 14th month,
right? Lucky 14,
right? That we made the decision to become official, and now that time has passed. We're almost going on a year, and it seems like it's gone so fast, right? We've been having fun with it, and so people want to know, when are we moving in together? When are we getting married? When are we having kids? Can we just calm down and enjoy each phase of it? I think that's probably best. What do you think? What do you think about that?
Right.
One of the things that I love about our relationship and it being long distance is that I feel like a lot of people don't want to take the time. And in a long distance relationship, I feel like it forces you to take your time. Which most people, they want to move things so fast. They want to feel all the pleasures of love and, move in right away or, and progress the relationship so quickly. But with a long distance relationship, I mean, there's more that you have to work through. And so it forces you to kind of, in my case, strategically think about like each step. And is it right? Is it the right space? Can, this be executed, at this stage kind of thing? And if you don't embrace that, then, you're on a high fast train to tragedy. It forces you to take your time, which is one of the things I'm grateful with our relationship.
Yeah, I can agree with you completely. I think it's one of the things that I appreciate about the online thing is that it forces you not to think with that for guys, of course. I don't know about the ladies.
Well, why do you point at me for the ladies?
Because I was pointing accurately. But no, but I agree with Kimario that it does force you to think and to really get an opportunity to get to know someone and allow that process because you really don't have an opportunity for anything else. The downside of that, though, is that a lot of people will force that physical aspect to be done as quick as possible and not really allow that time that you have to really develop things. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that a lot of people that I know that have met via online mediums that the instant that they meet the person, it's like that honeymoon phase, right? Like you go in there, you spend a week with them, it's a glorious week and everything's wonderful and peachy. And then when you get home, reality sets in and you start to now see things that you didn't see before. And had you just spent 3 more months getting to know this fool, like you would have saw these things come out. So it's like, it's definitely a great point of view to have. You have nothing but time. Take the time.
Yeah, no, it was definitely that, very much that. Like honeymoon phase at the beginning, it was perfect. We went down to, the very first time we actually met physically, we went to some hot springs in Mexico. Yeah. We spent a very romantic weekend there. And you could easily take off from there in any direction.
That love, girl.
Right. But you're talking about that reality sitting in, that you have to take your time. Also, what I would recommend for people is to get to know the other person's friends. Because that is true, that's tall telling of who they are. You know, if you don't meet their friends, you probably don't exist to them.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always thinking it's super important for the guy that I'm going to be with to get along with my best friend. Why is it important? Because my best friends, I want them to be part of my life. I had a relationship where the guy told me, why do you hang out with friends? Once I am in a relationship, my friends know, my family know that I'm going to leave them and I'm going to focus on that. And so he didn't want me to hang out with you guys. I was like, no. They were there with me before and they will be there after. Mm-hmm. And so I told him, well, it's very important that you get along with my best friend. And you establish some sort of rapport. You don't have to be their best friend either, but you have to get along. Because we're going to be spending a lot of time together. Mm-hmm. Which is where that shirt comes in.
Oh, yeah.
Right, he chose to become part of the crazy family. That's when he chose me, he chose all of who I am and who is important to me. My best friends, my family. He chose all of them. Mm-hmm. And vice versa. For me, when I chose him, I chose everything that he's made up of, all the people that are important to his life, all his love life. And so, if you ever find a person who doesn't want to or is resistant to that, that's a big red flag.
Huge red flag. It's so easy for some of us to get lost in that, you know, in the initial parts of a relationship and the initial physical expressions of that relationship, and forget that you were whole individual people before you met each other with full lives, or at least hopefully with some of us, with full lives. So that life doesn't cease simply because you now met someone else that you want to spend time with. If anything, it's a opportunity to now include that person in your life and have yourself included into their life. And we get lost sometimes in that passion, you know what I mean, and that heat that happens at the beginning of a relationship. But yeah, I completely agree that the wanting to, the inclusion to that is very, very important. So what would you offer both of you? What would you offer to anyone who's watching this video who's in a long distance relationship and struggling with the distance part of it?
I would say know yourself, number one. Know what are your core values as far as your love principles. And make sure that the person that you're trying to align with has those exact same principles. You have to be on the same page. If you're not on the same page, then what are you doing? If you don't know yourself, I'd say that goes for any relationship, whether it's long distance or, you know, just down the street.
Exactly.
You know your principles and make sure that the person you're aligning with has those same principles as well.
Yeah, I would agree, and it's the same principles as a physical relationship. You know, you have to have that compatibility. If you don't have that compatibility and you're not willing to, because anybody can become long distance. So what then happens, right? If you say I hear a lot of people say they're against long distance relationships. What then happens when your physical, super duper close relationship suddenly has to be long distance because of family or because of work or circumstance? What happens then?
You open it up, girl. Sorry.
I can't.
Well, that's an option.
That's a completely different show too,
which we will have.
Yes, absolutely.
But no, for me it's the same thing. You have to share those non-negotiable the things that you need and want. And so for me it was time, and it so happens for him. Also, if you guys haven't done this already, what really helped us is learning our love language.
Absolutely, yes.
If you guys haven't checked out the Love Languages book, check it out. We'll also put the link for the test on the description. It's Love Languages something or another .net or something like that. But we'll find it and put it out there for you guys. It helped us because we discovered that he was physical touch and quality time. Those were his top two. I think quality time was the highest one. And so I knew that in order for him to feel love, I needed to spend quality time with him. And when we were together, physical touch was very, very important. So he feels loved when I touch him, you know? For me, it was acts of service. I felt more loved when somebody did small things for me, would help me with something. If I'm carrying the groceries, help me carry the groceries, or help me take the trash, or it's small things. It doesn't have to be a huge, because I'm really not into big gifts and gestures like that. But small acts of service really go a long way with me, and we discussed it, and it has really helped us, because we focus on that, and that person starts feeling that love. So anybody who's struggling with that, or make it a rule. When you start feeling somebody and you start dating them, and you know that it's gonna potentially go somewhere, sit each other down, go through the test. Each person takes the test honestly on their own, not to cater to the other one. And then you guys discuss the results, and it'll really help you to learn how not only you like to be loved, but also how to love your other.
Absolutely, and that test is so, it's transferable to not only a romantic relationship, but just relationships in general. All of us want to be loved in all endeavors that we do in the personal aspect, family, friends, lovers, romantic. So finding out how you want to be loved and the language that speaks closest to you will help you not only determine what you want and what you like, but be able to find out the people that are presently in your life. We took the test together at some point. And it helped me not only determine mine, but I was able to kind of pinpoint how different people in my life wanted to feel love. Right. And it helped me adjust how I would present that to them, to the point where they were surprised and shocked that I would offer these things to them that they felt was something that they had no idea why they were getting such a positive response from that. And once I explained it to them, it made sense to them. So it really does help people. I urge anyone who's watching this to take that, especially if you're in a relationship, long distance or short distance, and just find out what it is that makes you feel loved and makes your partner feel loved. That gives you great insight on each other.
And what's interesting also is that you start identifying with people,
right,
at work and your friends, and your family, and you're like, oh, this one is physical touch. Right. I want to go hug them.
Right. Like, how you doing, girl?
This one is gifts, likes receiving gifts. I'm gonna leave a little note.
Right.
You know? And so those are the things that you start being able to love people the right way, the way they need to be loved.
Absolutely.
I did want to leave you guys as usual with the quote, but before, it was very nice having you with Bob.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
very nice.
Was it that difficult as you thought it was going to be?
No, it wasn't.
It went by right away.
It went by real quick.
That water worked.
The water worked.
Yes. Thank you, Georgia girl.
Georgia. But anyway, we should have you again for probably something else.
Well, you'll have me very soon, girl.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I cannot with you. This is not a sex show.
No one said it was. No, we're just being accurate. We talked about accuracy now. That's right.
But anyway, we love having you here. I'm glad everybody got to see you and that you actually do exist.
Right. And he's real, and they are monogamous, and they are together. FYI.
But yeah, so I'll leave you guys with this quote, and it's about long distance relationships, and I hope that anybody who's in this situation really finds that success. This one's by Lisa McKay, and she says, being in a long distance relationship forces you to learn to communicate well. And there's no other skill more essential to a long-term success.
Very true.
You gotta learn how to talk.
100%.
That's what taught us we have to talk. So now we know how to talk and yell
and
resolve conflict.
Right.
There's been times where you get tested, and so. Yeah, but anyway, from all of us here at ChubThots, we love you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like us. Thanks a lot. Thanks again. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.